Questions are yours. I go to the Bible, God's holy word, to find answers. Thank you for these good questions you have sent to me for use today. Question number 1 right now. Do Matthew 27 verses 52 and 53 not contradict one another? Well, let me read those verses. The graves were opened. That's when Jesus was on the cross. And many bodies of the saints which slept arose and came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. The graves were opened as a result of an earthquake which caused the veil of the temple to be rent in twain from the top to the bottom. An earthquake that did apparently a great deal of damage, and some of the caskets were exposed in the graves that had once been closed. And that's the first statement. The second statement is that people revived, like Lazarus at Bethany, came out of the graves and appeared to many in the city. These two events apparently are separated by 2 or 3 days. The one took place when Jesus was on the cross during those hours of darkness, and the other took place after his resurrection. So really, my friend, there is no contradiction here. Now, question number 2, can your soul or spirit live apart from a physical body? Well, St. Paul in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 said that 14 years before, he knew a man, whether in the body or out of the body, who went to the third heaven and saw things unlawful for a man to utter. Apparently, a man can exist without a body. St. Paul left the door open for that. You see, the body is simply the house in which you live now for a while. And when your spirit leaves this body, it goes home to be with God. Yes, the soul can exist and experience things in heaven apart from a human body. You, of course, will get a glorified body at the resurrection day. And now question number 3. When will Ezekiel chapters 13 to 20 be fulfilled? Well, Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 6 talks about the prevalence of false prophets. And so I take it that that passage of Scripture, several chapters, has to deal with a period of time which is characterized by false prophets. When will that happen? Well, Matthew chapter 24 tells us that in the end of the age, that is the time we're living in now, there will be many false prophets who will deceive many, even God's choice people. And so I take it that Ezekiel 13, 14, 15 through to chapter 20 is referring to a period of time like our own, when there are many false prophets in the world. And now question number 4 for today: is Genesis chapters 1 to 11 inspired scripture or only ancient mythology? There are many friends of mine who have a problem. They believe in the inspiration of the rest of the Bible, but they wonder about those first 11 or 12 chapters of Genesis. Jesus in John 10 verse 35 placed his approval upon the entire Bible when he said the scriptures cannot be broken. The scripture includes those chapters which were written by Moses. Now, I don't know how God communicated with Moses, gave him all that information, but Christians have always believed that all Scripture is given by inspiration of God. Thank you so much for these good questions. I trust the answers have been a blessing. If you have a question you'd like me to use on The Bible Has the Answer, please write it out. Send it to me. I'll be pleased to hear from you. I'll get to your question on the air just as quickly as I can. And of course, You need an address, and all the address you need is simply Faith to Live By, Box 426, Winnipeg, Manitoba, and the code is R3C2H6. Here is a passionate call for revival, and Rick sings it, Touch Your People once again.